Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington, not your first time here, hi, well, welcome back. If you enjoy anything book related or makeup related, this is definitely going to be the channel for you, or if you just like one and not the other, still the channel for you. So if you have not yet hit that subscribe button or click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads, I absolutely invite you to do so you can join this dumpster fire. If you enjoy this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. This lets me know you enjoy the video. This lets other people know you enjoy the video as well. And let's go ahead and let's dive on into today's video, which I'm excited about because blendbunny is one of my favorite companies to buy makeup from ever. Point blank, period. Okay, lots of periods. So they came out with their new Sickly Sweet collection. I really love the packaging of this. I love how there's like a little skull and the cotton candy. And then you have two lip oils that actually do have some pretty good pigment, but also very comfortable and not sticky, easy to put on. So if you guys are excited to see swatches, what I think of this collection, the look we come up with, then definitely keep on watching. Now, disclaimer before we get started, just because I love blendbunny, and that is chef's kiss, one of the best brands I purchased from. This will still be an honest review. I will also talk about in comparison with the Sugar and Grunge palette, which kind of has a little bit of like some similar themes to it, but they are not exactly the same, and we'll kind of discuss that. So let's go ahead and let's dive on into some swatches. So let's start off with, this is what the packaging looks like before we dive right on into the swatches. Again, I think it's so cute. It's very pastel. You have like the cotton candy, you have like the skull in it. And when I saw this, my original thought was like it's going to be like pastel and grunge. And when you open it up, it definitely is pastel. And there are some grungy type shades in there. I was expecting it to have a little bit more grunge to it than just a lot of these pastels. But I'm excited for it all the same. I think we can do something really cute with the grunge and some of the pastels in there as well. And so as you can tell, this palette is going to be a little bit different than how they do their normal layout. This is kind of very scattered all over the place sort of a layout. Whereas their other palettes, like I have the Sugar and Grunge one here, which, you know, definitely has like the pastels, but then it definitely does get deeper with like the grunges. But normally their palettes are like laid out in like a color story, and you've got like your transitionals, and you've got your like, you know, blending, and you've got your depth, and then you have your shimmers. This is generally how a lot of their palettes, almost all of their palettes are laid out. Where the shimmers might be different in comparison to some of the other shades, but generally they follow in a line where you can easily use those columns right there to create whatever look. Whereas with this one, as you can tell, there is not really a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. So if you struggle with color stories and you liked the way that they did their other palettes, in which you didn't really have to do a lot of thinking, you may not like this palette as much as their others. In terms of formula wise, couldn't tell you because we haven't dived into that. But let's go ahead and let's work right on with the swatches. So we're gonna start off right here. So we have the shade Crybaby. This is like a very pretty pastel lavender. Next up is going to be Gloom Doom. This is a very cool toned grayish brown. Next up, you can't really see it, is Lollipops. It's going to be a pastel bubblegum pink. Then we have Cupcake. This one is, this is one thing, is I don't really necessarily know you can always see the like the shifts in them. But it's almost like the color of like the vanilla, like cake batter frost, cupcake batter frost. Wow, cupcake batter. Not the frosting. I just want to say the frosting. It's nothing to do with the frosting. And it kind of shifts a little bit of like a champagne white silver type of a shift, as you can kind of tell. But I wouldn't say it's like shifty, like so shifty. It's like so many colors, man. It's not like that at all. It's just not. Okay, next one is going to be Fake It. This is kind of like a highlighter, light green almost. Then we have I'm Fine. This is a pastel sky blue. The next row is Cry If I Want To. This is like a very deep bluish teal type of shade. The next is going to be Cotton Candy. As you can tell, can you tell? Cotton Candy is, I don't think you can tell, is like going to be like this pinkish, and it shifts almost like, the shift is almost like that shade of Cupcake. that's down here, whenever it shifts, it almost turns into the cupcake shade. So I think that's really pretty. Next is going to be Buttercream. Can you even see that on camera? Not really, no. So this is like a greenish yellow pastel type shade. Next up is going to be Pout. This is almost like a periwinkle pastel. Then we have Brooding. This is like a very like dark emerald type of green. Then we have Rosy Cheeks. This is more of that bubblegum, but it's not quite as pastel as Lollipops. This is just going to be bubblegum. Next up is right in there is we have Frills. Wow, I'm gonna ruin this. Frills and Thrills. Okay, we should not say that 5 times fast. We just should not. And this is just like a really pretty purpley lavender. Next up is going to be Just an Act. This is going to be like a pastel mint green. We then have Melancholy. This is just like a very basic neutral, medium to deep type of brown. Then we have Sugar High. This is kind of a yellow highlighter sort of pastel. The next one is going to be Just Peachy. You can't really see it here, but this is definitely like a peachy pink type of shade. And it's very, very close to my skin color. Like even just like looking at this on my own arm, I'm just like, yeah, I can barely see that. So that's just the type of color that is. Then we have Big Feelings. This is going to be a purple, blue, pink sort of shimmer shade. And then we are going to move right on in. You can't really see this one either. It's like even up close. But this is Center of Attention. This is going to be just like a basic bright yellow. And then last on this hand is Feeling Blue. And this is kind of a pastel, not necessarily quite a sky blue. I'm not going to lie. I'll show you like within the pans. These two shades right here are super, super similar. As you can tell, this one's just a little bit lighter and this one's just a little bit deeper. But they are still kind of that sky blue type shade. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on. And now we have a Party Dress. A Party Dress is going to be like a really pretty orange type shade. We then have Glow Sticks. This is a deeper mint green. Next up, one that you can't really see is Dopamine. And this is a very lilac purple. We have Temper right here, which is like a coral salmon type of pink. Then we have the next row, which is the last row, is going to be Sprinkles. This is a mint green with some sky blue with a little bit of dash of yellow in it. Next up is going to be Belly Ache. This is kind of a skin tone type color as well, a peachy type color. This one leans a little bit more peachy yellow, whereas the other one was a little bit more peachy pink. This one's going to be a little bit more of that peachy yellow. Peachy yellow. Thank you. Wow, Carrington, get it together. Next one is going to be Crying Sparkles. This is kind of like a blue with a shift to like some silver and some yellow in it. Then we have Morose. This is going to be just kind of like a basic grape purple. Then we have Ruffles, which is going to be like a pink, orange, yellow type shift. And then the last shade is going to be Spooky, and Spooky is going to be like a really dark eggplant type purple. So then moving on into these really cute lip oils. These are, you get a lot of product. They're quite big. And also the doe foot is really nice and large as well, as you can tell. And they both smell exactly like a cupcake frosting. So first off, this swatch right here is going to be the black one, which is going to be Black Sugar. And then the last one, which is going to be like this really pretty, like blue, which again smells like the cupcake sugary confection, and it has the large doe foot as well. And then also it does really, both of these give a tint for the whatever color that they are. Sometimes lip oils, you know, they might say they come in like a ton of different shades, but really when you put it on, it almost like shears out. These ones definitely still provide a little bit of a color. So just in case you're just like, well, I could still use that and really sheer it out, these are going to pack some sort of a color. So just make sure if you're buying these that you just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and let's start off with the look. Starting off for shade, I did lay down a white eye base. This is the Colored Rain, what is this? Colored Rain Paint Base Eyeshadow in the shade White. And I'm just going to start off with the shade right here, which is going to be Temper Temper. And I'm going to start that off on a really dense brush. And I'm just going to place this where I want. So I'm just going to kind of start focusing this on the outer portion and just laying it down like so, up as high as I want. And then we'll just go back over it again with more product this time. Make sure to bring it up high enough so when I blend it out, it is like that transition type shade. So far, it's looking really pretty. And then I'm just going to take like a smaller blending type brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit more product on and just start blending this out. Because my eyes are hooded, so I don't want a lot of product on the inner portion. So I just really worked on just like building up like that shade, packing and blending to get to the desired. So the next shade that I want to go into is, I think I'm going to go into the shade right here called Brooding, which is kind of like that greenish color. And I'm just taking like a little bit on here and just kind of focus it. I'm not going to stamp it on. I'm just going to work on like blending this into the outer portion of my eye. And then just keep it low on the eye as I blend it. I went ahead and I glitter primed my eyelids, but I did not go in with any other product. I just stuck where I blended it out and we just left it there. So for my lid, I think I'm going to go in with the shade, what do I want to do? Do I want to make it like, the blue could be cute. So let's go into Crying Sparkles first, which is that bluish shade. I'm trying to pick it up with a brush and it's not really wanting to pick up with said brush. So, I mean, we got a little bit, but it may be, you have to go in with the finger. Okay, let's try going for the blue shade again. I don't know if I really want to go with like the whole eye in this color. I don't know, it's really pretty, so maybe, but I don't think so. I think I want to go into the shade Cupcake next, which is like that yellowish shade. And just focus that on like the inner portion of the eye. It just don't pick up the best with a brush. This is what the eyes are now going to be looking like. I didn't really reinforce the outer corner any. I just really like how light this looks, especially with like the outfit I'm wearing, and I do have places I need to go and be where I don't really want like a super overly glam smoked out eye. I think this is going to be perfect for it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll finish off a good portion of my face so we can come back to do the lower lash line and a lip option. Okay, so now we're ready to dive on into the lower lash line. So I'm just going to take that shade that we started off with, which is going to be Temper. I'm just going to work on lightly just kind of stippling that onto the lower lash line and blending slightly as well, like so, over some time, so that way it's still pigmented but not so much. And then I'll go into that green shade, which is Brooding. I'm just going to tap in one time because, again, we really smoked that out, so there wasn't a lot of color. to it, just a little bit of like some depth. So then for the inner corner portion of this, I am going to just take that cupcake shade, which is that white shade, the yellowish shade that we went on the inner corner with. Oh my gosh, inner portion of the eyelid. Wow, I just want to blur all my words together today. And so I'm just going to focus on making sure that that is well put and reinforced into the inner corner of my eye on both sides. To move on then to the final product, I think we can tell what lip oil color I'm going to be going with. Okay, right, we're gonna try out the black. So this is going to be in the shade Black Sugar. If you're wanting to know what liquid lipstick this is Give Me Glow. Okay, Give Me Glow in the shade Black Magic is my all-time favorite forever and ever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a little bit of this lip oil and just start applying it. So this is the completed and final makeup look, testing out the new Blvd Cosmetics Sickly Sweet collection. I'm absolutely obsessed with this whole entire look. I like that it's something that's just like really nice, really soft on the eyes. Their pigmentation is really good, even with this being a pastel type palette. There's a lot of times where I will use a pastel palette and I will just pack on colors consistently, and it just feels like I'm using so much product in order to get that pastel to really show up. And I did not have the issue at all with this palette. I think I went in a total of 3 times with this shade to get the color that I wanted. And then with that green, I just lightly tapped in order to just get just the littlest bit of color where it's like a little bit more depth, but I didn't have a ton. And again, I thought that that worked out so well. This is such a cute palette. Again, if you are somebody where you really like their layouts, more like this, where you have it grouped into rows, then this Sickly Sweet may be a little bit more of a complicated palette for you, or maybe one that you just skip altogether. But I personally love Blendbunny's formula, so they're just ones where I have to get their palette every single time because it's just so good to me, and this palette is no exception. The shimmers were really pretty. I did eventually have to go in with my finger on the shimmers that I used. It just was really hard to really pick it up on the brush, so I just kind of went in with my fingers for those. But you don't have to. If you like something a little bit like more topperish or whatever, then the brush that I used would have met that. But I do like a little bit more of an intense shimmer on my lids, a little bit more opaque, more so than translucent. So I did go in with my finger, but the colors that they chose are really, really pretty. I do like how there are some deep colors in this. I was kind of hoping maybe there would have been a little bit something deeper. I was kind of hoping maybe for like some grays thrown in there. I think some grays in there would have really have just been like chef's kiss with this. Honestly, chef's kiss. That would have been so good. Just like some grays, or maybe like a really like soft black. It doesn't have to be like a straight black, which is like a soft black. I think that really could have made this palette just like elevated to the next level. And honestly, with this, I kind of wish that there was like a little bit of more of like a purple periwinkle and like silver shift kind of a shimmer. I think that would have been really pretty to add in this as well. But overall, again, Blendbunny's quality is just really, really good. There may be some shades in here that may not work out very well with your skin tone. I can already tell I probably would have issues using like these shades specifically, just because of how light they are and how light my skin tone is as well. When I was doing swatches and like trying to build them up, there were just those shades that just didn't necessarily build up. But I think that this palette is absolutely beautiful. The lip oils are so comfortable. They make your lips just so glossy and intense, and there's no plumping effect to it. Like, you don't have that tingly, but I feel like it gives like a plumping look to it just because of how juicy and hydrated it makes your lips not only look but also feel. It feels so good. Not sticky. just glides together so well. It is so perfect. And honestly, if you love a black lip but you always want to add something to it, I really like this, especially considering that it has that little bit of like a tint to it. So I think that pairs with like a black lip just so nicely. Not to mention, these also just seriously smell so good, and it's just, they just make your lips look just like so shiny and juicy and healthy, and I am here for it. This whole collection to me knocks it out of the park. If you're somebody where you don't really want a tint in your lip oil, or if you do want a tint in your lip oil, it's not going to be one of these two colors, then you could definitely skip out on those. But again, I really enjoy the palette. I really enjoyed all of the products. But just for your pros and cons, again, these are tinted, so if that's not something you're into, you're not going to like those. If you don't like big doe foot applicators, you're not going to like those. But if you do, again, smells nice and insanely plumping, makes your lips look so juicy, and it's so comfortable. The palette, I love. The quality is there. As always, like I feel like I don't even need to say like the quality is there for blendbunny, because I feel like we know the quality is going to be there for blendbunny. It just is. But again, if you're somebody where this is just like too large of a palette for you, absolutely skip out on. Or if you're just like, there's a lot of colors going on, I don't know if I'd be able to pair it because it's not lined out how the other ones are, it'll be totally fine to skip this one. I personally am glad that I picked it up because this is really good. If you're just like, I can look over all of those, how's the formula, how's the quality, how's the pigmentation, it is all there. It is so good. I would recommend this collection 1000%. That is it for today's video. Just testing out some new makeup. Let me know what you guys think of this collection down below. Are you interested in this collection? Are you not? Let me know what you guys think down below. Have you picked this up? Are you going to pick this up? Are you waiting to see more reviews? Are you waiting to see if there's going to be a sale? Let me know all of that down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this look. It's almost like it's kind of spring, but also Halloween at the same time. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. Let me know what you guys think down below. And again, if you enjoyed this type of content or book type of content, make sure you guys have subscribed and click the little bell. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!